My wife wanted an open marriage, cheated with the CEO, then begged me back when he ghosted her, but I was already dating her best friend. So my wife comes home from a girls' weekend in Miami acting completely different. Not tired from travel different. More like she'd downloaded a new personality and was beta testing it on our marriage. 3 days of her being distant and glued to her phone. Then she drops it over breakfast while I'm making eggs. Says we should try an open relationship. Just like that. Casual as asking me to pick up milk. I stop mid-scramble and turn around. Where's this coming from? She's ready for this. Gives me the whole practice speech about personal growth and exploration. Says people evolve and relationships should evolve too. Then she mentions her friend Brittany is in one and it's completely transformed her life. Brittany. Of course. The same Brittany who calls monogamy a societal construct and thinks every bad decision is actually self-discovery. I ask if she's thought this through. She nods enthusiastically. Says she's been reading about it for weeks. That we can still love each other but experience new things. That it doesn't mean what we have isn't special. I stand there holding a spatula covered in eggs, trying to process my wife asking permission to cheat with a manual. Instead of arguing, I just say, okay, let's try it. Her whole face changes. She literally lights up like I just told her Christmas came early. You're serious? You're actually okay with this? I shrug. If it makes you happy. That night she's different. Energized. Texting constantly with this little smile. She starts going out more. New outfits appearing in our closet. Suddenly working late 3 nights a week. Meeting friends for drinks that somehow last until midnight. She thinks I'm clueless. I'm not. I'm just watching. 2 weeks into this experiment, my sister Nora calls. Says she needs to talk to me in person. She comes over looking uncomfortable. She pulls out her phone and shows me screenshots. Her friend Casey was on the girls' trip. Apparently my wife spent half of it talking about some guy she'd met at a networking event. A tech executive. Drives a Porsche. Has a place downtown with a view. The texts are pretty clear. My wife had been talking to this guy for over a month before she ever mentioned opening our marriage. She'd literally told her friends she was upgrading, that if things worked out with him, she wouldn't have to worry about money again. So the open relationship pitch wasn't about freedom or growth. It was about getting permission to test drive her replacement husband without technically being the bad guy. I sit there reading these texts, feeling weirdly calm. Not even angry, just done. Meanwhile, her best friend Olivia had started checking on me. She texted a few days after the announcement asking how I was holding up. Said she'd heard what was happening and thought it was messed up. Olivia had always been different from my wife's other friends. Genuine, down to earth. We'd talked at parties before and she actually listened instead of just waiting for her turn to speak. We started getting coffee, just as friends at first. She'd ask about work. I'd ask about her photography business. Normal stuff, but there was something there. Something easy and comfortable that I hadn't felt in months. 3 weeks in, we were getting lunch twice a week. She told me I deserved someone who chose me first, who didn't need to shop around to appreciate what they had. One night I invited her over for dinner. Nothing fancy, just pasta and wine. We both knew something was shifting between us, but neither of us rushed it. We talked for hours, about everything. She told me she'd always thought my wife didn't appreciate me, that she'd watched me show up for someone who barely noticed. 4 weeks after my wife asked for her open marriage, Olivia and I were together. Not sneaking around, just together. My wife was still barely home, still glowing from her secret upgrade plan, still thinking I was just sitting around waiting. Then one Tuesday night she comes home early. I'm in the kitchen with Olivia. We're cooking dinner together, laughing. Her hand on my back as she reaches past me for the salt. My wife walks in and stops cold in the doorway. Her face goes from confused to horrified in about 2 seconds. She starts screaming, how could I do this to her? With her best friend, that I'm disgusting, a snake, that I betrayed her trust. I set down the spatula and look at her calmly. You asked for an open relationship, remember? She's yelling now. That's completely different. I'm sick. This is her best friend. And besides, things with the CEO guy got weird anyway. He stopped calling. She wants to close the relationship. Go back to how things were. Just us. I looked at her while Olivia squeezed my hand and said, too late for that. I filed for divorce yesterday and Olivia's moving in next week.